Association. I started off playing touch. I was a national rep for a couple of years, not now. So I went from sports administration to helping my husband with our construction business. Again, administration. And then about 6 years ago, I had the opportunity to become the CEO for the Samoa Cancer Society, another NGO. And so I took that on. And again, administration. So yes, you could say that business administration is very strong in my background. But while I was doing that, I was slowly building my vanilla business and taking it from the hobby to what it is now. And it wasn't until June this year that I took the big leap, went away from my full-time secured employment, my salary, to my passion and my dream and wanting to take Viola Vanilla to the next level. So here I am.
That's so cool. So was there anything that stopped you from going into business earlier, or was there something that held you back from wanting to go out on your own, because you had the security of a full-time job and then all of a sudden you're in self-employment? So yeah, what were some of the things that kind of you felt had stopped you?
Yeah. I think that would be the biggest thing that stopped me, was the money factor, not having that regular salary coming in and knowing that your salary is already committed to paying bills. It certainly helped me to bring Viola Vanilla to where it is now. So a lot of what I earned, I actually put back into my business. So yes, it took me a long time to really take a big breath and take that step forward into something that I knew that my business could not afford to pay me right now, but I had the belief that I could take it further, and I just needed to trust my instinct and trust my passion and my dream. So yeah, that's what I've done.
I love that, because I think that's very much what an entrepreneur is about, is having a dream and a passion and just going out there and getting it. Yeah.
And you know what? I did it at a time when we were just in the middle of COVID-19. My husband hasn't had work since end of May, and that's because the building industry has slowed right down. It was too late to stop the wheels in motion. I couldn't go back to the cancer saying, sorry, can I stay on? But no, I had to really trust that this was the right move for me. And even though it's been a challenge, it certainly has been a challenge financially, we've managed. I mean, look at us now. From June to now, we're still here. I'm still driving the business forward. I don't have a lot of money, but I'm surviving. So that's me trusting my gut.
I think there's something quite beautiful about being in business through challenging times, because then you've got no option but to be resourceful and to think outside the box and get a little bit creative. And I know that you've sort of done that, because you had to pivot your business as well during COVID. So tell us a little bit about that and what you did.
Yeah, you're so right, Wendy. I think it's really important that we learn to pivot. And my pivotal moment came when, just as I was resigning from Samoa Cancer Society, a program came to me, and that was just through Facebook. I happened to be scrolling through Facebook, as we all do, and there was a program there from Rise 2025 and Rachel. She was promoting her HEWA program, which was an e-commerce business coaching linked to Shopify. So I decided to take it on, to do the 9-week program. And I tell you what, I haven't looked back since doing that program. It has helped me get to where I am right now. And if you look at where I'm at with e-commerce, I never thought I would ever have Valhalla Vanilla as an online store. But I knew because of COVID-19 and because our borders had closed down and because my own export buyer in New Zealand was going through his own challenging issues, I had to think of something else. I had to think about how I was going to get my product outside of Samoa because we didn't have the tourists coming in.
So tell us a little bit about some of the things that you have learned about e-commerce and some of the things that you have done and what it's done to get your product out there into the market.
I certainly learned that e-commerce is not as hard as what we all might think it is. Certainly being involved with the Shopify platform, and Shopify was a partner with the HEWA program, that has been a blessing, and they continue to support you. So I think that's really important, that even there's lots of e-commerce platforms out there, but are they really supporting you? Are they right behind you all of the way, helping you? Shopify is, and that's what has made me successful so far with what I've been trying to do. So it's built me a website. It's built up my following. I've learned how to utilize Instagram and Facebook to channel all of those organic marketing opportunities to get people to my store. Now, my store may not be, it may not have sales every single day, but what it is doing is building my profile and building my following. So that's been a blessing for me, and it's just enabled more people to know about Valhalla Vanilla and want to know how they can purchase it now.
Yeah, I think you could have the best product in the world, but if nobody knows about it, then no one's going to buy it. So it's really important that we get out into the world and let people know what we've got to offer and build up that presence, build up that brand awareness, get people to buy your product, and then once they've felt it, touched it, tasted it, whatever, are able then to continue to buy and then spread the word about how incredible your product is.
Yeah, and I think what I've learned through HEWA and Shopify is learning how to sell your story. Sell your brand story, sell your essence about who you are. And I think that's really important when we think about e-commerce, because I think Shopify's got like 1 million online stores. So how do you make yourself different when it comes to, with my product, selling vanilla? And I think by selling to the global audience about what I do, why I started Valhalla Vanilla, how much of a passion it is for me and why it's a passion, then I want them to follow my journey. So it's really about them following me as a person, the vanilla journey, and then the products, selling the products, that's my bonus. But really, I just want people to understand why I do what I do and why I love it so much.
I think it's a really awesome, as a Māori person and as Pacifica people, we're storytellers. We love to tell stories. And at the moment, that's what the world wants. They want stories. They want to know more about you and why you do the things that you do. And so how beautiful that it just automatically fits into who we are as people. We don't have to be anything different.
That's right. That's right. I think you're so right, Wendy. I mean, the whole Pacific, we're all about telling stories. We really are. And I think I tell a pretty good story, particularly if someone wants to listen, and particularly because I love it so much. I mean, the vanilla, you know, when I think about when I started 13 years ago, it was just a hobby. I thought I was just growing another plant. But over the years, the vanilla has actually brought me back to my roots, brought me back to Mother Earth. I feel like I have a connection. They are my babies. I talk to them. They just give me so much peace and joy. So I want people to really, not only about my story, but the story of the vanilla bean, and that's my purpose. I want people to understand the value of what real vanilla can do for you, not only for your baking and cooking, but all the healthy benefits of using real vanilla, but how much joy it can give you using real vanilla.
Okay, so now you have to actually tell us, because you've already teased us, what are the health benefits of vanilla and how does vanilla bring you joy? You've got to tell us now.
Okay, well, healthy benefits. First of all, it's great for your skin. Great, it's really good for your skin, good for your hair as well. It promotes hair growth. It is an antioxidant, natural spice. And it also is very good for high blood pressure and your heart. So diabetes even. So using real vanilla, that's the health benefits. Now the vanilla that we buy in the supermarkets that are not, we know that there's lots of real vanilla, like Halala vanilla, Niue vanilla, to name a few from the Pacific. But for those other brands, they are synthetic. They are imitation vanilla that is made from basically synthetic products, not even real vanilla inside it. So, and it's not just, and the joy that you get from it is that beautiful, beautiful aroma. Oh, it's just, you walk into, a lot of people now when they come into my home, because my home is my processing plant as well, they smell the vanilla. I can't smell it anymore because I'm just so used to it, but they can just walk onto my deck and they go, oh my gosh, I can smell vanilla. It's just intoxicating. And that's the joy that you get from real vanilla.
All right, so you heard it, people here. Stop buying imitation vanilla. Buy the real stuff.
Yeah. Yes, it's more expensive than the imitation, but it also lasts you longer. So because it's more pure and potent, you only need to use half of what the recipe calls for. So it lasts a lot longer. And your baking and your cooking will be just 100% better.
And it's going to help your skin, your hair. It's an antioxidant. It's good for high blood pressure in your heart. So it sounds like my husband needs some of that.
And it's great. And if you put it into coconut oils, it's great for, just as a massage, and you get that vanilla aroma. So aromatherapy too.
Oh my gosh. Okay, now I need to get some. All right. So back to business. How has life changed for you since you've been in business?
Wow. It's changed in many ways. I always knew that going full-time in my business was going to be a challenge. And I always knew that it was going to be a busy time. But yes, it has been a lot of challenges, but they're not challenges that I can't overcome or I can't fix. The busyness, you know what? It doesn't feel so busy. It doesn't feel so stressful for me. That is a difference. As much as I loved my previous work, I always felt the stress. I always felt that, timelines, I have to get this done on time. I've got to do this report. I've got to do that. And I'm doing the exact same thing for my own business. But that's what the difference is that it's for me. It's for my business. So what I'm doing is for me. And it doesn't feel like hard work. It just feels like this is what I need to do to get to that next level. And because I'm so committed and dedicated to my vision and where I want to see Valhalla Vanilla, I'm determined to get there. And it doesn't feel like a whole lot of work. It just feels like this is what I need to do. And I'm just opening more doors to get myself there.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. So look, along the way, you've probably had some challenges. Tell us about some of the challenges that you have had and how you've overcome them.
One of the biggest challenges that I have with growing vanilla is my supply capacity. Now, so over the 13 years, I've gone from just a small plot of land that I started with to growing it to maybe 1/4 of an acre. So everything that I do, all of my the beans that I export overseas and all of my value-add products are fully reliant on my own harvest yield. I've been trying to get other farmers to grow vanilla, not necessarily as a primary crop, because it is a very high maintenance crop, but as a secondary crop to their normal cash crops. I see vanilla, because it's so high value, vanilla is actually the second highest spice after saffron. So it's really what I want to do for farmers and growers here is to introduce this type of high value crop so that they get a bigger return for their money. That's been a challenge. Not a lot of people want to grow vanilla because of that very fact. It takes a long time to grow. From a cutting, it takes about 4 to 5 years before you can even encourage the vine to produce flowers for you to pollinate. And then it's the maintenance. So there's not many farmers that can afford to be fully committed to vanilla. But I'm hoping that by what I've started, now that I'm full time and really getting it out here now, and I've been working with the Ministry of Agriculture as well here in Samoa, is that we will eventually be able to run programs, training programs for some of the farmers. So when I go back to some of my challenges, it's the supply capacity. I have had offers from Europe, China, Japan, Canada, the States even, for me to supply them with the vanilla. But I can't because my supply capacity is just too small.
Yeah, that is tough. And I remember having a conversation with someone once about the different crops in Samoa and how we could better utilize them by having like some crops that take a little bit longer, like the vanilla, as well as having crops that are faster turnover but maybe lower profit points. So at least you can kind of diversify your plot of land.
Yes.
And make the most out of it, but still earning an income from it in your sort of day-to-day. So I can see why that can be a challenge. Are there any tips that you could give to people who maybe are considering growing vanilla or had completely wiped it out of their train of thought because they thought that it was going to be too long and too costly? Do you have any advice for people like that?
My first bit of advice that I always say to people that are considering growing vanilla is to start off small. Don't, if you've never grown vanilla before, don't start off with, oh, I've got an acre, I'll grow an acre, because you will give up. As soon as you realize how much time it takes, not only to grow it, but to maintain it. And then after that, it's the harvesting. So I always give my first point of advice is start off small. Just start off with maybe 10, 20 vines, and then learn how to grow the vanilla first before you even think about expanding. And I want to be that person that people can come to for advice, for training. That's what I want to do. I want Valhalla Vanilla to be a training farm where people can come and learn. When people ask me for cuttings, I'm very, very fussy. The first thing I say is, are you organic? Because I am organically certified. My vines are organic, so I want them to go to an organic home, not where they're spraying pesticides. And then the next thing is, the question I ask is, do you know how to grow vanilla? And if they say, no, I've never grown it before, then I say, well, let me come and show you. I'd rather show them and have them fully prepared on what to expect with growing vanilla.
So look, along the way, you've talked about a few different people that have helped you on your journey. You've talked about HEWA, you've talked about WE, which is the Women in Business
Development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else has been in your corner and supported you throughout your journey in business so far?
My family. Mainly my family. My husband and my children. My children don't necessarily want to come out into the vanilla with me because they know how hard it is. And but they've been fully supportive in terms of encouraging me to keep following my dream. They say, Mum, don't give up, don't give up. And I think that's been really important. I've tried very, very hard to get the support of government to back me. We've started probably about 3 or 4 years ago. I started a little project with government, and then it sort of fizzled out, but I won't go there. So yes, I think the main supporters that I've had are my family. They've always believed in what I want to do, and they've made me keep my faith.
I guess for a business like yours too, which has got such a long lead time into it and is very tough to do, you've got to have the support of your family around you. And so that's really awesome to hear that not only are they supporting you, but they're encouraging you too.
Yeah. I'm really pleased because, you know, at the end of the day, us as parents, we want to turn around and say those same things to our children, encourage them to follow their dreams, follow their passion. And I feel that, and I've got 9 grandchildren, so I feel that if I can be a mentor, that, you know, I've had this passion for so long, and I always knew that I was going to go full time, but I just didn't know when. And then it was about a year ago that I decided to put a date to when I was going to resign, and I kept to it. And I just had faith that this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to be successful. So I want my children and I want my grandchildren to see that, so that they feel that drive and know that that's how you get ahead in life, by having your dream, having the passion to follow that dream. And it doesn't matter what you want to do, as long as you have that faith, just stick with your dream and stick with your passion.
That's so true, so true. And that's part of what we're trying to do here, is like just display role models, those people who have worked really hard, who are stuck at things, because you can do brilliant, amazing things if you just try, just do it, and then just stick to it.
You know, and Wendy, I saw one of your LinkedIn posts earlier on today, and what you said was so true, that we are all geared up, or maybe taught from our own parents, that you need to work for somebody, you need to be in an office, you need to be this, you need to do this. And even though you've had an idea, you never think that, oh, I can't do that, you know, there's no way. But I really liked what you said, was that
thank you,
if you've got a drive, you've got a passion, there's nothing stopping us from doing it. The only one that's stopping us is us, ourselves. We think that we can't do it. And I guess in one way, COVID-19 has opened up more opportunities for us to pivot and think about thinking outside of the box, you know, and thinking that, hey, well, I can't go to work, so I might as well be here. I might as well do something. What can I do? What, and we're thinking outside of the box. And I'm hoping that there's a lot more people now that are following their passion.
Yeah, I totally agree. And we do tend to say to our children, oh, I'd love you to be a lawyer, a doctor, in all black, if you're a New Zealander. And generally, not all the time, because we own our own accounting firm, but generally it means working for another organisation. Generally it means working for an organisation that is run by our European counterparts, and they love what we have to offer and are quite happy to make money off that.
Yes.
But
exactly.
We've got such brilliance. We don't need to work for somebody else. We can go out and share what we've got and, get the benefits for ourselves.
Yes, exactly. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, a big earning type business, as long as you're happy. And I think even if you're working for someone else, and I say this to my children, even when they were in school, like some of them didn't want to go to university. And that's okay. Not everyone. I never went to university until I was a mature student. I don't have a degree in anything. Everything that I have learned has just been from work experience, life experience. And for me, that is the most important thing that we can pass on to our children. It is life experience that will get you to where you want to be. And if you're happy working with someone else, that's fine, as long as you're happy. And I think that's really important, that whatever you do in life, you need to, first of all, want to be there, be happy doing it, and feel joy from what you're doing. And if you don't feel happy in that job, then that's a sign you need to move on to something else.
100% agree with you. Life is too short, and you'll know this because you've worked in the cancer space, and clearly I've gone through that stuff myself, but that's something that I've learned, is that you just, life is too short. You don't know when it's going to end, and so why spend it doing things that you just don't like?
That's right. And I must say, I didn't resign because I didn't like what I was doing. I must say that the Samoa Cancer Society, working there, that gave me a lot of purpose in life. It brought me closer to community. It brought me closer. Cancer is very, very strong in my family. I've had so many family members, both grandparents, sets of grandparents have died with cancer. My father, my sister's got breast cancer. It's just all over the place. So being with the Cancer Society, I learned a lot by being with them, and it helped me grow as a person, and it helped me follow my dream. So everything, my time that I had with the Cancer Society, I will always cherish that time, and I'm still there volunteering for them. I say, look, whenever you need me as a strong advocate for something, I'm there. So I'm still involved with the community, as I'm now president of the Samoa Women's Association of Growers, and that's a brand new NGO. And I'm enjoying my time there with them as well. And I think when I think about my NGO experience, I've got over 20 years of experience of working with NGOs, and I feel that if I can help this young NGO build its foundations, then and promote the organic growing, getting rid of pesticide use, not only for our plants but for our own health. Then I feel that that's where I need to be at the moment. And it complements what I'm doing at the moment with the vanilla, being involved with this growing organization.
I feel like we could have a full-on conversation about organics, pesticides, cancer, and that's probably a whole other discussion for a whole other day. But it's been a riveting conversation about Voila Vanilla and your journey so far, the things that you've learned. And you're right, you don't need to have a degree or any other initials or numbers or letters after your name. Even as adults, we can learn about e-commerce. And technology and business is a forever learning journey. It never ends. So, you know.
It certainly is. It's just like a marriage. Always learning.
Always learning and growing, and there's always something that's just going to pop up and challenge you along the way.
Yeah. That's life.
It is. Hello, Shelley. Thank you so much for joining us on our Kapu Tī. It's been incredible speaking to you, and I love the work that you're doing in Samoa. And yes, we met up, I think it would have been last year, and so I'm really excited to see how far you've taken Voila Vanilla since we last met.
Thank you very much, Wendy. It's been a pleasure being here today. Thank you for the opportunity. I'll always take an opportunity to share my story. And hopefully inspire. You know, if I can inspire one more person, whether it's growing vanilla or going into e-commerce, I always say to people, I'm not the young person. Look, I've got grey hair and I've just jumped onto e-commerce. That's me inspiring other women that, hey, it's never too late to start.
Absolutely. Never too late.
No.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shelley, for your time. And everybody else, I'll see you again tomorrow night where we speak to another incredible lady who's actually growing hemp and sells hemp oil. So I really love that our entrepreneurial people are getting into the health benefits and just going back to basics and going back to natural. So I'm looking forward to having a conversation with her too. So thank you so much, Shelley. The next time I am in Samoa, I will get a hold of your vanilla if I can't get some before then.
Well, you can check out my online store.
I'll do that. I'll jump off now and I will do that.
No, thank you very much again.
You're welcome. Now, how do people get it? How do people get in touch with your product? Where do we go?
So you can go onto my website, voilavanilla.com. And, you know, we always thought that shipping was going to be a challenge through COVID-19. It has been a little bit of a challenge, but products are getting out there. They're just a little bit slower than normal, but they're getting there. And I'm loving that all of my orders so far, people are receiving them. They're not broken. They're beautiful, and they're really enjoying their vanilla. So, yeah.
voilavanilla.com, VAOALA vanilla.com. So there you go. Yeah. That's how you can get hold of some all the way from beautiful Samoa.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Shelley. Right, mā te wā whānau.